Hey everybody, I'm John Granado, and that is Josh Jordan. You can hear us on ESPN 97.5 and 92.5. You can also see Josh's work, sportsmaphouston.com. Hit subscribe if you haven't yet, so that you get all of our content here at SportsMap HOU. Josh, given the Texans' recent really crappy play, given their bad PR with Deshaun Watson, given that they are just is considered probably the worst organization in the NFL, does Jalen Carter's legal issues exclude him? Let's say they don't like any of these quarterbacks. We don't know. Let's say they were going to take Jalen Carter, number 2. If Indy moves up to number 1, hey, we were taking Jalen Carter anyway. He's at the top of our board. What about now with the legal issues?
I think it's the legal issues paired with the reports that he had some other character issues, that, stuff about him being late for meetings and things like that. So if I'm the Texans, that's two different things where when I'm checking boxes, this is the very top of the draft, John. You're going to have talented guys with great character, great decision making. And if now you're checking boxes and you're not sure about decision making anymore with Carter, you're maybe not sure about football character, there's other great players that do check those boxes. So I think this will push them away from selecting him. Plus, all they've said, it's about the person. It's about the person. D'Amico, Casseri have said that over and over and over again. Jalen Carter could be a great guy, but just based off of what we know now, the reports we know now, him leaving the scene reportedly before police and EMTs arrived, people are going to have some questions about that.
Absolutely. And listen, given the Texans' history, Bob McNair, Janice McNair, we've heard it in the past. They took people off the board that you're like, really? He's off your board because of character issues? Cal learned from his dad. Cal was right there hearing all of that stuff. Cal ain't drafting Jalen Carter. I just don't believe it. I don't think that they need. I don't think they want it. I think that that philosophy in the organization is the same. They might have. Maybe you'll take a little bit more dirt on a guy, but I don't think Jalen Carter. Listen, let's say he falls to 12. We saw Jeffrey Simmons fall drastically because of his issues. If they fall to 12, I wonder if D'Amico has enough pull right now. He's got enough pelts with his service here and how much people love him and what a great decision that was by everybody, thinking everybody thinks that. If he's got enough pull for them to take D'Amico at 12.
You know what? Maybe. It's another question. Do we think he's going to fall all the way to 12?
Jalen at 12, excuse me.
Yeah, I knew what Jim meant. Yeah. Do we think he's going to fall all the way to 12? Probably not. We were talking about that. But if he somehow did, maybe D'Amico could talk him into it, and here's why. I think the Texans want a fresh start, right? They want all the positivity. They have D'Amico. So if they get either, Will Anderson or the best quarterback they like with that second pick, then that everybody can be excited about that, and that's what the press conference is about. And then maybe you can fade it if with your second pick you take Jalen Carter. Because then it's a great value too.
You would be lauded.
Yes.
If you take him if Jalen Carter falls all the way to 12, you would be lauded for that pick. If you picked up, let's say, Bryce Young or C.J. Stroud, whoever you like at number 2, or moved up, and you got Jalen Carter as well, holy cow, I think the media would convince the public, this is fine, everybody. The Texans did better than anybody else on day 1 of the draft, period, exclamation point. It's not even arguable. His position is playing into this thing. If he was a quarterback, you think anyone would, if he was a quarterback and thought to be as good as Jalen Carter is thought to be, the best player in this draft, there's no question he would be taken number 1, right?
I agree. We would come up with excuses like, oh, man, this guy just loves cars. He loves racing. And you know what I mean? Like, they'd be like, at least it wasn't something where he was abusive towards a woman. It's not a drug issue or, it's something like.
It wasn't his fault.
Wasn't his fault.
He was driving. Remember when Mario Williams was, and that girl was in the car and she's screaming, Mario's doing 100 some miles an hour. He's just playing. That's just fine. He was the number 1 overall pick as well. I agree with you. If he was a quarterback, there's no question. He's a defensive tackle.
Yep.
And he's got, like you said, the other issues as well. It'll be interesting to see who takes it. Because, listen, this could be an Albert Hainsworth thing. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? You want to talk about a guy who did not live up to that $100 million that the Redskins at the time gave him. That defensive tackle, there were a lot of red flags about Albert Hainsworth as well. This could be that same kind of deal.
It could. You give him more money and more time. it could get worse. You just don't know.
Yep.